Hello, welcome to Katimerayoga. In yoga practice, there's this classic standing yoga pose known as warrior number 1. It's also known as proud warrior pose. So at this classic proud warrior pose, warrior number 1, you need to actually stretching your both arm up with the either palm touching or apart. So usually for those who have problem stretching your arm with the palm touching, because they have problems straightening their arm and not elbow bending. So usually for this case, people usually I will advise them to do with the arm apart instead of bringing the palm touching, with the arm apart, palm facing palm, so that easy for them to stretch the both arm up without bending their elbow. But there are actually also people doing with the palm touching but with the palm locking. So now there's this question is whether are we supposed to lock the thumb or not to lock the thumb, or is it correct to lock the thumb, or actually it's wrong to lock the thumb, and is there a difference when you're stretching with the thumb lock or without the thumbs lock? So these are the questions that we are going to dive deep into it and finding answers over here. So before we dive deep into it, let me show you what is warrior number 1 pose first. How does warrior number 1 look like? Okay, I will show you warrior number 1. Okay, firstly is 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, okay, with the front knees bending at a right angles. So in other words, make sure knee is not over bent, knee heels in a line, and hips squaring over here. With the back leg strong stretch, grounding the foot, and over here you're stretching your both arm up. With the palm facing palm, those who can then bring the palm touching here. Okay, for those who have problem actually stretching the arm with the palm touching, because some people might end up elbow bending, cannot straightening your arm, then don't really get the stretch on the arm shoulder here, then I would actually advise them not to bring in the palm touching, just bring it apart with palm facing palm. At least this way you stretch your both arm up. You can help to keep the arm stretched without elbow bending, and this way get the arm shoulder being stretched over here. So for those who have no problem, you can bring in the palm touching, but there are also people, as I mentioned, locking the thumb here to stretch the arm up. So this is actually warrior number 1. Okay, over here, if you want to, you can try it out yourself. How does it feel like stretching your arm with the palm touch without thumb locking and with a thumbs locking? How does it feel like, and which part of the muscles you are actually working onto, and can you actually find any difference with the thumb lock or without the thumbs lock? Okay, so from my own experience, and I test it out myself, what I can find is there is actually different. Okay, there's actually different with the thumbs lock and without the thumbs lock. If you are stretching your both arm up with the thumbs lock, you find that it's much more easy to straightening your arm to get the arm shoulder stretch, and you will find that you get more stretch on the arm and the shoulders there. But if you don't lock the thumb, the difference I can feel is I'm actually engaging more of the muscles, not only on my arm, my shoulder, but including my back, the whole of the back. As I also work on the back, my spine extending up when I stretching my arm up. But if you're doing with the thumb locking and stretching your arm, you will realize you don't really engage much on your back muscles there. You don't really engage much on the back, the spine extending up, because it's so much more easy stretching your arm with the thumb locking, because you're actually making use on the thumb force to help you to pull your arm up. Therefore, end up you actually don't require to use much strength and much on the muscles on your back, your shoulder, and your arm at all, while stretching your arms up. So what does that actually tell you? So if you have actually tested up yourself, you can actually see there's the difference, okay, between locking the thumbs and not locking the thumbs. So if you want to get more stretch on your arm muscles and the shoulder, you will find that locking the thumbs will be much more effective to get the arm and the shoulder being stretched over there. But then, because it's so much more easy, you are actually using the thumb to force to help you to pull the arm up. So end up you actually don't require to use much on your strength on the arm muscles and the shoulders there only. So in other words, if you're locking the thumbs, you are actually mainly just focusing on the stretch only. Just focusing on getting the maximum stretch of the muscles there. But if you want to work on the muscles, okay, to build up the strength, working more not only on the arm, the shoulder muscles, but the back muscles at the same time, the whole of the back, you will realize that you doing without locking the thumbs, it will be more effective if you want to work more on the muscles there, not just only on the arm, the shoulder, but including your back, the full back of the muscles there. And it's not only working on the stretch, you also work on the strength there also, as you need to use the strength, okay, to help to uphold at the postures there while still maintaining with the spine extending up, with the arm stretching up, with the palm touching. So in fact, that actually no right and wrong. So it depends your preference, what you prefer, what actually you focus in from this warrior number 1 postures here. But if you ask me, I myself will prefer to choose stretching my arm without the thumbs locking there, because this way I will engage more on my muscles there and really work on my muscles to stretch, instead of using the thumb strength, the force to help me to stretch my arm and the shoulders there. And when I'm doing without locking the thumb with the palm touching, I can actually feeling the flow, okay, of the energy throughout, okay, my whole arms here. And I also can feeling the energy on my palm, my hands more when I doing without locking my thumbs. I can feel more sensation of the energies there. And I also find that I feel good after finish the warrior number 1 without locking my thumbs there. The only difference with the thumbs lock is I just getting more stretch, more muscle stretch on my arm and the shoulders. So if your intention is to get more stretch on your arm, your shoulders here, then locking the thumbs will be more effective for you if your focus is to getting more stretch on the shoulder and the arm stand. But if your focus, your intention is want to work more on the muscles and also working on the strength, and also not just working on the arm and the shoulder, but at the same time on your whole back muscles, then my advice is stretch your arm without locking the thumbs. That will be more effective. So in conclusion, it's no right and wrong whether you should lock the thumbs or not to lock the thumbs. It depends on your preference, and there is actually different in the effect from the stretch when you lock the thumbs and not lock the thumbs. And my preference is not locking the thumbs, as I actually find that I feel more energy flow on my arm and more energy on my palms there, my hands, when I do it without locking my thumbs. So in the end, it depends what you want, what you're actually looking into. Then you just go according to your own preference. Hope what you have learned today has helped you. Thank you, and please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not. I shall see you next time. Thank you. Namaste.